Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Letha. This is Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And I'm reading one of your integrated practice tests that you submitted. It looks like you're using the Cambridge book. And you read a reading passage that was talking about how people got to the American continent many years ago. And it looks like the lecture has some criticisms with this theory. So 3 specific criticisms, to be sure. So you're doing what's called a point-counterpoint, a sequencing type organization. You're mentioning points from the reading and showing how the listening contradicts each of those points. So it's actually a very easy way to organize writing. So let me put the light over here a little bit more so you can see me. Okay, so let's begin. And I will read each paragraph and I will begin making corrections and any suggestions, and at the end I'll give you a score. So you say the lecture contradicts the points made in the reading, that the Clovis theory mentioned in the reading is not satisfactory and provides several readings. Okay, so we have some word order problems going on here. So we need to work on correcting a few problems here. Okay, so I would probably say the lecture contradicts the points made in the reading about the Clovis theory. You have mentioned in the reading is not satisfactory and provides several reasons. I'm going to go ahead and cut that. I think this idea modifies the lecture, so how about this? Saying not satisfactory is contradicting it, but what if you said this? The lecture providing several reasons, or maybe by providing several reasons, contradicts the points made in the reading about the Clovis theory. I'd do something like that. Okay, you have, first of all, I'm going to put a comma after your transition words. Now you should probably keep them parallel. If you say first of all, I would say second of all. Excuse me. Or you say first, then you say second. So let's do that. So let's go back here. The lecture states that we assume, I don't think that's the best way to do that. I'm going to say it is. First of all, the lecture states that it is assumed, according to the Clovis theory. I'm going to go ahead and capitalize that. You're giving the name. A specific Clovis sounds like the name of a person, perhaps. Okay, so first of all, the lecture states that it is assumed, according to the Clovis theory, mentioned in the reading passage, that the first people migrated to North America from Asia about, you can probably just say about 11,000 to 13,000 years before. No, ago. We use the word ago, not before in this case. The lecture claims that many of the archaeological sites appeared So in this you say the lecture claims that many of the archaeological sites appeared sites. Maybe discovered might be better. The lecture claims that many of the archaeological sites discovered are older than this period. And I think you're missing some words here. And were settled by inhabitants before the Clovis tools were made, according to the reading passage. So then we'll say one site in South America. Okay, so you might say something like in fact. I think in fact is a good word here, because in fact it helps emphasize, because this idea, this example you're going to give is something which greatly contradicts what was mentioned in the reading passage. Okay, in fact, one site in South America I'm going to say in Chile let's say indicates, in fact, one site in South America in Chile indicates I'm going to take your idea, put people, and cut that, put it here, indicates that people started to live 15,000 years ago, which is so many years before the dates mentioned in the reading passage. Say, second of all, the lecture states that the oldest findings also claim that the reading passage does not look like the Native Americans. So the lecture states the oldest findings also claim. I think what you're saying is the people that they think lived here don't look like the people that they believed came here, at least according to the reading passage. Am I right? See, here we're getting into some trouble here. I'm going to go to the reading passage here for just a minute. Let's take a look and check for the accuracy of the content here. And we're getting into... Okay, so here. Another finding which weakens a Clovis first idea is that some of the oldest remains found don't look like the remains of Native Americans. They resemble people. Okay, so let's go back to that. So you might say something like this. Contradicts maybe stating that the oldest people or maybe ancient say the ancient people. The lecture also contradicts another finding in the reading passage stating that the ancient people who are settled the Americas do not, how about resemble How about Native Americans? I don't think you need an apostrophe there. You're just using the plural S. Do not resemble Native Americans. Then you might say, instead, they look like the people from maybe Pacific Islands and northern Japan. So then we say several people from many other places migrated to this place, and the modern Native Americans look like people from Siberia, not from Asia. You might say this, so we know the lecture also suggests that several people from many other places migrated to this place, and the modern Native Americans look like people from Siberia and not from Asia, as is claimed in the reading passage. Now that was good. You have a pretty good paragraph here. This is a very important paragraph. In addition, the lecture's adding to this, Native Americans going to say migrated to where? The Americas, right? To the Americas about 14,000 years ago. And that is many groups of people that migrated to this place. You might say something like this, which is one, but one of many, I think, different groups to migrate to this place. The year of migration mentioned in the reading passage I think it was much later, right? Was much later than this, which means it contradicts it, right? Now let me just make sure I'm looking at it, getting the right thing here. Okay, so getting into the second point, let's go back, look at this point one more time, make sure I'm seeing what you're seeing. This is where you said many people, so this could mean America was colonized by a variety of people. This diversity must have reduced at some points, and modern Native Americans seem to be descended anatomically from Siberian people. So, okay, I think we're going in the right direction. Okay, so let's go to the next one. You say, finally, the lecture states that DNA analysis mentioned mention's not the right word. Let's see what it says here. Suggest, mention, that's not really, I don't think that you're using the right word here. Yeah, way before the Clovis period, so let's see what word would work here. Maybe that supports the claim that the Native American people are here about 40,000 years. And you want to say are here, have been here? Let's say, no, may have migrated about 40,000 years ago. Now I think you're struggling a little bit with the language here. So you probably want to say came here about 40,000 years ago. This is also a contradictory statement. This is good. Maybe which further weakens the Clovis period, or the Clovis theory. That says different people from different places migrated to North America earlier than the Clovis period. In conclusion, the lecture is opposing, I don't think that. Remember, I think I told you this before, the most popular verb tense, I think, when we're writing about academic topics, is the simple present, and then second is the simple past. So I'm going to change this to the simple present. The lecture opposes the points made in the reading by stating that many of the archaeological evidence maybe strongly suggest that the Clovis theory is not true. Alright? I think we got it. 20 minutes later. Alright, let's read it one more time. It says the lecture, by providing several reasons, contradicts the points made in the reading about the Clovis theory. First of all, the lecture states that it is assumed according to the Clovis theory mentioned in the reading passage. It's a little bit, how about, let's put which in there so we know that's a participle, which is mentioned Lecture states, it is assumed, maybe, comma, according to the Clovis theory, maybe get rid of that, mentioned in the reading, that the first people migrated to North America from Asia about 11 to 13,000 years ago. The lecture claims that many of the archaeological sites discovered are older than this period and were settled by inhabitants before Clovis tools were made, according to the reading passage. In fact, one site in South America and Chile indicates that people started to live, I'm going to say there, people started to live there 15,000 years ago, which is so many years before the dates mentioned in the reading passage. Second of all, the lecture also contradicts another finding in the reading passage stating that the ancient people who settled the Americas do not resemble Native Americans. Instead, they look like the people, I'm going to say peoples, no apostrophe, they look like the peoples from the Pacific Islands in northern Japan. The lecture also suggests that several people from many other places migrated to this place, and the modern Native Americans look like people from Siberia and not from Asia, as is claimed in the reading passage. In addition, Native Americans migrated to Americas, or we probably should say to the Americas, about 14,000 years ago, which is but one of the many groups, different groups, to migrate to this place. The year of migration mentioned in the reading passage was much later than this. Finally, the lecture states that DNA analysis supports the claim that the Native American people came here about 40,000 years ago. This is also a contradictory statement which further weakens the Clovis theory. Different people from different places migrated to North America earlier than the Clovis period. In conclusion, the lecture opposes the points made in the reading by stating that many of the archaeological evidence strongly suggests that the Clovis theory is not true. Okay, I think we got it. So it's all cleaned up. I had to clean it up a little bit. You had a few problems with some word choice issues, some things in there. So let's go to, let's see. I'm going to try to make it fit within this video screen. Okay, here we go. Okay, so 5, no. Let's say, I think you did a pretty good job here. So it said your response is good in selecting the important information from the lecture, coherently, accurately presenting in relation to relevant information. You have minor omission, inaccuracy, vagueness, or incorrectness of some of the content from the lecture in connection to some of the points made. Your essay has more frequent or noticeable minor language errors, but these errors do not result in anything more than an occasional lapse of clarity or in connection of ideas. I think it's in pretty good shape. You do have some grammatical issues that are going on in the essay, but they don't look at that, I think, as a big problem with the integrated writing task. I don't think that's a huge thing. I'm going to probably put you between I'm going to say 3.50 to 3.75, between 22 and 24 points out of 30 on this one. So there were some changes. There were some word choice changes. There were a few things in the reading or your essay that made it a little bit difficult to understand. So I did have to make a few small changes there, which is why I'm going to give you the score that I did. But overall, it was good. You did a good job. Very nicely written.